Hello NFL fans, welcome to NFL Picks with Dave. Today we're going to predict how NFL Week 11 will turn out. Last Thursday, Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks defeated the Arizona Cardinals with a score of 28-21. Now let's move on to the rest of Week 11. Our first Sunday matchup is between the Steelers and the Jaguars. Pittsburgh last week defeated the Cincinnati Bengals with a score of 36-10 to remain perfect to start the season. The Jags, meanwhile, lost to the Packers in a close one with a score of 24-20. Since the Steelers are undefeated, I'm picking them with a score of 38-13. This pick is the lock of the week. Our next game takes us to Carolina, where the Panthers host the Lions. The Lions last week defeated Washington in a nail-biter. The final score was Lions 30, Washington 27. The Panthers, meanwhile, lost to the Buccaneers with a score of 46-23. This pick is a tough one. Since the Lions blew a lead and nearly lost last week, I'm picking the Panthers with a score of 38-35. Our next game is between the Patriots and the Texans. The Patriots last week defeated the Ravens with a score of 23-17, while the Texans lost to the Browns with a score of 10-7. I'm picking the Patriots with a score of 21-20 because I feel like they're the stronger team. My next picks are the Ravens over the Titans, 27-20, the Browns over the Eagles, 17-7, the Saints over the Falcons, 31-17, and Washington over the Bengals, 20-17. Now let's move on to the later games. Our first late afternoon matchup takes us to Denver, Colorado, where the Broncos take on the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins last week defeated the Chargers with a score of 29-21. The Broncos, meanwhile, lost to the Las Vegas Raiders with a score of 27-12. Since the Lions are a very good team, I'm picking them with a score of 34-14. Our next game is between the winless New York Jets and the Chargers. The Jets had the week off last week, while the Chargers lost to the Dolphins. Since the Jets are still winless, I'm picking the Chargers with a score of 27-7. Our next game takes us to Minneapolis, Minnesota, where the Vikings host the struggling Cowboys. The Vikings last week defeated the Chicago Bears with a score of 19-13, while the Cowboys had the week off. Since the Vikings are playing at home, I'm picking them with a score of 24-17. Our final late afternoon matchup is between the Green Bay Packers and the Indianapolis Colts. The Packers last week edged the Jaguars with a score of 24-20, while the Colts defeated the Titans with a score of 34-17. Since they had more time off, I'm picking them with a score of 37-34 over Green Bay. This pick is the upset of the week. Now let's move on to the last two primetime games. Our first primetime matchup is between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Vegas Raiders. The Chiefs last week had a bye, while the Raiders torched the Broncos. This pick is pretty easy. I'm picking the Chiefs with a score of 28-14. And now, the last pick of the week. It's the LA Rams taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. LA last week defeated the division rival, the Seattle Seahawks, with a score of 23-16. Tampa Bay, meanwhile, bounced back from the blowout loss to the Saints by destroying the Carolina Panthers with a score of 46-23. This pick is a tough one. Since I'm from the West Coast, I'm picking the Rams in the nail-biter with a score of 28-27. And that does it for today's episode. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to get the latest videos and posts I do. Also, be sure to follow me on Twitter at DaveRader2 and to like this channel's Facebook page. Thanks again for watching, and remember to wear a mask, practice social distancing, and stay home when you're sick. Thanks for staying safe and have a great Thanksgiving.